r/ask Reddit. What's the most stupid thing that the society thinks is normal? Expensive coffins. If my coffin isn't adorned with jewels, how the duck am I supposed to pay the ferryman to cross the river Styx? I thought you just needed 2 copper pennies? Sensationalized 24-hour news. I feel like it's stupid because it leads to this weird fear mongering that doesn't actually positively feed any part of society. It just develops, a halfway informed public that is deathly afraid of the world. Not to mention it creates some sort of unhealthy competition between media, like they're craving for having even the slightest insignificant information. For example, they fight to know if the shirt was green or yellow. Then you hear for hours that we're waiting for the confirmation, but right now there's great chances that authorities said for sure that the shirt must be green or yellow. And then it's the insane escalation for breaking news. 2015. France. After the 1RST terrorist attack in Paris, which means we were aware of the risks. There were a hostages situation in a supermarket. Several people, involving terrorists, were shot. This was a serious life or death situation for a whole bunch of civilians. Some hostages hopefully found a cold room to hide in at the back of the store. They used their cell phones to try to warn about the situation, and some twisted, insane, stupid news channel told on live streaming TV where they were hidden. And it was the biggest French news channel. So the terrorists could totally have been warned by accomplices or just with phone notifications. In addition to putting people in danger, they could have totally screwed up police's intervention. Later, the same channel and the second French news channel did more or less the same again. I told you the competition grows. There were another terrorist attack, but in Tunis, not in France, in a museum this time. They kept on calling some people that they thought were in the building to record calls from the inside of the attack. Also in France again. Last year, during National Day, a crazy guy rode a truck straight into a bonded crowd full of families that came to watch the fireworks. 2 caused 86 death and 500 wounded. This time it wasn't a news channel that did mistakes, but the 2 first national channels. They showed a security cam video of people being hit by the truck. And some journalists interviewed poor victims about what just happened. They recorded a guy kneeling by his dead wife on a sidewalk. She had a sheet over her body, but still asking him what he thought. The guy was lost but still tried to answer in a helpful manner. They would do anything just to be like first. The problem is all that you described, but also, every article or news clip now begins with, it is purported, it is believed, it may have happened, something may have occurred, etc. I don't watch the news anymore, and maybe I'm wrong in my belief, but I thought news was about facts, and not hyperbole. If I wanted to know all the what ifs and maybes in the world, I would just ask my invisible friend Queequeg. Edit. Apologies for extra words. Thing 1 got on the loose. Being married and disliking your spouse, or the fact that you are married. I swear, listening to my father and a co-worker talk about their marriages, you'd assume they were talking about a demon haunting their house, not an assumed loving wife. I got engaged at the beginning of this year, and I've quickly come to hate what I've dubbed sitcom marriages. It seems to be mostly prevalent amongst older people, and it's ducking infuriating to listen to. I agree, I am married, and I absolutely hate the way sitcoms act like the wife is the brains of the operation and the husband is just this bumbling know-nothing nitwit who only stays on track because of his wife's smarts. And bonus, they only kinda love each other sometimes but seem to maybe stay together for any kids. Like, I am a wife, and I'm smart, but my husband and I are a team and he's an intelligent, put together, responsible dude, and most of all, he's my friend. We enjoy each other. We're equals. I'm not his ducking babyster, I'm his partner. I live in Iran. Most of people celebrate their wedding party very expensive just for keep up with the Joneses. IDK if I use this word right, even if they don't have enough money, with borrowing. Just so you know, you have used keeping up with the Joneses perfectly. Thank you. In parts of China, when a couple gets married, the husband is supposed to buy a place to live, no renting, even if you're flat broke, even if you don't plan to live in said home condo. A friend of mine got married and his wife's family told him he had to buy a home. He had no money after the expensive wedding. They urged him to buy a cheap condo in the city where the parents live so that they could say, my son-in-law and daughter own their own place. It's all about status. And it's completely stupid. I'm from China. I completely understand and agree with what you said. Chinese care very much about face. You can eat ducking ramen every day and live like shit. But it's so important to look good on the outside. A lot of my female friends would starve themselves for months for a ducking Prada handbag. It's so stupid and sad because we were once a nation that cared more about characters than the ducking appearance. It's so stupid and sad because we were once a nation that cared more about characters than the ducking appearance. You'll still have an absolute duck ton of characters you care about. Source: I'm learning Chinese. Teacher is handwriting stickler. And paid internships. I was reading about how a guy got denied an internship because he didn't have previous internship experience. That isn't news. That happens all the time to tons of people. That's happened to me. Having to do something every single second of your day. Bragging about being busy or stressed all the time. That shit sucks. Take time to do nothing and love yourself. People still give me strange looks when they ask what I did last night or over the weekend and say nothing. It's like a foreign concept to people. Like, yeah, I did something, but I wasn't busy. That being said, when people want to go out, my usual response is I'm too busy if I don't want to go out with them. LOL. What do you have planned this weekend? Nothing awesome. Do you wanna know? You don't understand. I have nothing planned. People going on social media fighting the good fight about whatever the topic of the day is, but are complete shats in real life. The people who put up all their signs of support for every event and post 20 political statements a day to show they are the good guys, but in real life would just walk past you without saying hello, wouldn't look at someone homeless on the street, will probably cut you off on the road and then throw you a middle finger, won't miss a beat in cutting in front of you in line at a store, etc. I emigrated to the US a long time ago. I live in quite a liberal area. There seems to be some sort of protest or uproar every weekend in the parks with people in support of immigrants, or accurately, their idea of what an immigrant should be. Meanwhile, as an immigrant, you know what I'd like? A friend. One of these locals to stop and say, hey man, want to grab a beer sometime? It's funny they are also in support of what they think an immigrant is, but in reality, very few I speak to actually understand immigration at all, and tend to do what most people do, stick to their own circle of people from school, college, and wouldn't even consider that what a lot of immigrants would prefer is just a few welcoming friends, not a bunch of protesters who protest with their other non-immigrant friends that go home without even speaking to or talking to an immigrant. I don't really have a single good friend in this city despite being here a long time. Yet, everyone claims to be so in support and welcoming of immigrants. It just feels so much for show and attention. Edit. Thanks for the gold. I appreciate the gesture. It's something I've noticed too, tbh. Just a bunch of, look at what a good person I am, before resuming their lives, not actually doing anything. Because it's easier to talk big and do nothing. Corporate lobbying. Millions in bribes are used to influence politicians to vote and make laws which hurt people. And it's all done legally. Looking at your cable industry. Since it's constitutionally sound, can't limit how someone spends money. All they should do is make all political contributions public and transparent. I once saw a post on r/writing prompts that basically said all political candidates have to wear NASCAR-like suits with the logos of all the companies that sponsored them. Solution, anyone? Pumping dead bodies full of toxic, carcinogenic chemicals to preserve an appearance of peace and normalcy for a couple of days, then burying that body in a very expensive box to leach into the soil and groundwater. When I die, just throw me into the trash. No way, I'm not taking your dead corpse out to the dumpster. Just gonna leave you where you drop. Let nature take its course. Competing over who sleeps less. Coworker 1. I only slept for 5 hours. I'm tired. Coworker 2. Oh yeah, must be nice, I only got 4 hours. Coworker 3. I only got 15 minutes sleep, but you don't hear me complaining about it. Coworker 4. I snorted 3 grams of meth and haven't slept in a week. Working 40 hours a week until you're 65 and then you get to enjoy your life. It's 75 in Australia. I've come to the conclusion I'll probably die at work because there will be no such thing as retiring. Yup, my retirement plan is a bullet at this point. Spreading of misinformation and the fact that correcting it doesn't seem to change most people's opinions. I've noticed a staggering amount of people who form opinions on a topic, then look for things to back it up, when those sources are entirely proven false. Rather than changing their viewpoint, they simply look for other examples. It honestly has me completely cynical that we can have anything resembling an open, honest democracy. Politicians aren't leading the political direction of our country, nor do I believe the media is, though certainly fanning the flames since that draws in the viewers. It's not at all relegated to one party or even politics. That's just one of the most visible areas. It's called confirmation bias, and it's absolutely rampant in today's world. No, it's not. I've never heard of it, so it doesn't exist. Look at these two books where it's not mentioned. Everyone holding up their phone at a concert to record it. You're this filming everything all the time trend is getting weird. Nothing wrong with sharing a special moment with friends, but it seems a bit much lately. I thought the same thing. You're never going to watch that ducking video again, ever. Making stupid people famous. A good example will be that Cash Me Outside girl. WTF. Don't forget Honey Boo Boo and her troll of a mother. Until your comment, I had. Having babies when you can't afford them, just for the sake of having children. It's so stupid, and I just don't understand why people do it. When my cousins pop out children like nobody's business, and don't have health insurance, and are living on welfare, I just don't understand the appeal and desperation for wanting to bring a child into the world in such a shitty situation. I have a friend who literally said you can never afford to have babies, so just have them anyway. I was like, what? Everyone tells me and my wife that when I say I want to finish school and start a career before having kids, you'll never be able to afford it, so why wait? I don't know, Barb. Maybe I don't want to start a GoFundMe to buy my kid a birthday present. Maybe I want to buy a house first and not raise them in my 1-bedroom apartment. Having kids left and right without properly thinking about their future or yours. I have a cousin who's in his early 30s with 3 kids. 2 from his first wife and another newborn with his new lover/girlfriend, and his kids are basically being tossed around to mom, grandparents, aunt and him in a continuous cycle without getting the proper attention, care and values they need. WTF. My mom had me as a way to cope with her mom attempting suicide by slitting her throat with a smashed glass perfume bottle, and my father hated children. Yep, my childhood was wonderful, not to mention being poor in the suburbs of LA. It's cruel and selfish, not planning and being compulsive. And then people who choose to have 1 child, or hold off on the second because they want to properly plan for their future, are called selfish. Selfish. I even saw someone call people who do not want to have children cowards who want to run away from their responsibilities. People talk about having children like everyone has to have them. No, not everyone has to, but when they do have them, they should be able to provide them with a good life full of opportunities that would allow them to grow into independent and productive adults. Living for the weekend. I'm not saying that it isn't without good reason for many. Tough jobs, demanding hours, stressful weekdays can make it pretty tempting to look at Monday, Friday as those shit days before the freedom of the weekend. At some point though, you're gonna realize you spent years trying to discard 5 out of every 7 days. I'm totally guilty of this, and I don't care. There is so much hidden time that working eats up. Have to wake up and get ready before driving to work, eat, dress, shower, take the kids to daycare, etc. Then you have to drive home to get all the shit done that you want to do only in time to go back to bed to start it all over again. Most people still doing things Monday, Friday. Those things are generally more enjoyable on the weekend though, because you don't have the strain of worrying about repeating your daily grind until Monday. That's because those days aren't theirs. Most people sell the majority of their life for a salary. People who hog the center of narrow aisles in grocery stores with their carts, oblivious to other shoppers trying to pass by. You can push the carts out of the way, maybe just casually take it with you. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content bruh. It's free and that's a great price.